Good evening, good day, good morning, and God bless those out at sea. Being a former sailor, being a proud member of the American Armed Forces, I am here today to speak to my brethren. Not to ignore the Afro American, but to speak to my brother. The brother who did not have the opportunity to have a father in his life. The brother who did not have conscious, how should we say it, counsel, if you could consider an Afro American man one who has continent thinking. The black man from time to time in our nation has always leaned on his uncles, his brothers, his father, when we had father in the household. Today, as we look at the changing of the guard come January, as we prepare ourselves for a new year, we are faced with the fact of the loss of the piss-colored heifer. No great loss to the black American man as the Afro-American man wipes his ass with his tears to cool off his butthole, if I can even say that word, but it's close to an anus. Today, the conversation, the remarks, the conscious thought is concerning the right of the black American male to his children, to his legacy, to his hopes and his dreams. Being as poetic as I am from time to time, I always lean upon previous occupation, the occupation which I am most proud of, other than my military service, the occupation which I always taught to each and every black American man, because you cannot find reasoning in those who had took the mark of the beast, is father. The last occupation which I find great joy in is my service to my community in the opportunity to address the issue of child support. It was never created to provide substance and medical for our children. It was created to keep the black man down. Yes, it's true. If you go in there raw, you have a responsibility which was never taught from the father or the nipple which he suckled. Mother is supposed to be the original teacher, but for the last 3 decades in this country, mother has only been concerned about herself. Ever since the creating of that beast that we call Afro-American, these women who do not emulate or assimilate to any projection of our mothers, the black woman, but the black woman's shame, the Afro-American woman who walks around in bad bodies and bad weaves will reap what she sowed in her allegiance to the HBU hoes and the piss-colored heifer will soon see her day as we prepare ourselves to go to Tallahassee and lobby on behalf of making paternity fraud in the state of Florida a felony which is prosecuted by at least no less and no forgiving of 3 years in the Department of Corrections. Yes, that's what I say. I am more than willing to open my mouth and use my tongue in the pursuit of putting an Afro-American woman in prison. Yes, the ignorant woman, those who hide behind their children but do not take care of their children, have reaped what she sowed in her pursuit of gathering and associating with the feminists. Yes, the feminists, which has been shown by the voice and the hand and the vote of the American people, black and white alike, have chosen to ignore the cry of the shiftless and the lazy and the greedy. When was Mother concerned about having the right to kill and the right to be paid? When did the black American woman covet that beast to destroy her seed, her egg, which would be and shall be and will continue carrying the torch of revolution in this country when it comes to equality and equal rights? The Afro-American woman who took up the tutorage of public assistance, Medicaid, and the liberal white who, in their do-gooding ways, have persuaded her for her career goals to kill her child, all in the pursuit of the almighty greenback as she lays upon her back, as she works aggressively in the buck, as she used not rhythm method or birth control, has chosen to align herself with the feminists and truly believe that she has the right to kill and be paid. These are harsh words. These are harsh words from an individual who do not have the genetic makeup to bear children. But it does not take much to bear children. It just takes much to raise children. I have yet in my life never to be one to fix broken men. You cannot fix broken men, but you can strengthen broken children. And the children which we stand in defense of today is those who do not have a voice, those who cannot speak from the womb, those who will not, shall not, and always pray, God forbid, not know their fathers. Because a woman, an Afro-American woman, because I cannot be concerned about Becky, the left driven of Mr. Charlie's right testicle, or from the street vernacular, nuts. These nuts come in many forms, and as they use the manja of the feminists, we call these nuts uterus now. This, which we do very soon, which we proudly stand before those legislators who have the power to change the course of the future. We ask them, we humbly look upon them, because as the Republic moves forward at the beat of a drum, there is a new day and a better sheriff in town. This sheriff, which brings us freedom, however you may see it, if you consider freedom something to be a terrorist attempt to suppress you, that's your form of ignorance in your fear. There is no night rider, but my unwilling feminist Afro-American women, you are here to see the day that you reap what you sow, that we will stand as men of the black race, not taking any HBU hoes or bow tie simulation of black politicians who are not working on behalf of black America, but works on behalf of every immigrant. That those black politicians, this is your day to change your focus on how you see the original black man. the one who brought you into existence, as he regrets you not being aborted. We are asking that it be a felony in the state of Florida, that you, regardless if you have existing children or not, because mother always concerned about the well-being of her children, she would do nothing harmful to jeopardize their existence. But the Afro-American woman, she would throw everything to naught, not care, not love, not share, not even give acknowledgement to who brings life in the midst of their pleasure. It is heinous to believe that the church would even support child support. But we have seen that the church will allow a feminist to stand in the pulpit and urge the sisters from the front pew to the back pew to abort their children for the crumbs from Lazarus' table. Today is a great day to be shared among all brethren in the nation, that the foolishness, the bumfoolishness of Mr. Charlie's right uterus, which he used now as his nuts, as it drips toward her anus, which she gives up willingly in the midst of her pleasure. It is a great day to see them reap what they sow. That to believe that you have the right to kill and the right to be paid is a fantasy. To stand upon that rock, to reek Plymouth Rock, to be precise, this is part of the American fantasy. Since that day that those good liberal white folks from a foreign European country had set foot upon free land and then wanted to take slaves and breed slaves and kill slaves and torture slaves, this is part of their manja. As they convince ignorant, confused HBU hoes in their pursuit of being feminists that it is proper to tax someone and then enslave someone. Indentured servitude is a form of slavery, and that is what child support is, indentured servitude. But we have seen over this last decade that a great deal of men in our own belief that every child should have a positive role model get involved with women. The women have lost their minds. That the women who are Afro-American, black women don't do this. Black women, hear me carefully, black women does not do this. So if you have took the mark of beast, then allow someone with good sense to lay hands on you and bring you out of that demonic belief of yours that you should emulate the behavior of Mr. Charlie's right uterus, which they have formed as nuts. Your day has come that you will reap what you sow. And as you sit in jail and your children are taken away from you because you wanted to cover the crumbs from Lazarus' table, well, Agent Orange is getting ready to cut all of your caca. Agent Orange is going to eliminate your ability to use and breed and kill at your leisure. Those days are gone. I am glad to announce this. I am glad to be part of this. And as I look at others and seek counsel from those who portray themselves as black women, but their heart lies within the feminist realm because they're so willing to kill their children so they can emulate the behavior of Becky. Yeah, you know Becky. You know Becky. Becky lied about who raped her. Becky lies about who her children. And you took up the behavior and you tax men. And as those men become wise and use DNA, Dana, because that's another chick. As we fight Becky, Dana will set us free. Dana will hold all those who took the mark of the beast of the feminists and the Afro-American way. She is our saving grace. She is the one who will bring a brighter day. She is the one who will ease the pain of those who have been betrayed. This is a wonderful thing. This is a thing that is not spoken about or spoken about within our community. And that those who speak and those who share through YouTube, those who open the door by stepping to the district attorney's office, those who refuse and stand in refusal to pay child support, those who are bold enough to enter into court and call those Afro-American women who wear the black garb, which is nothing but a simulation of the white cloth, the night rider, and side with an ignorant woman who truly believes that she has no boundary. The wall has been put up. This wall will be so high that the price you pay is worthy of the punishment that you receive. That if your children are taken away from you because you wanted to run the gauntlet of the Almighty, the dick, you remember the dick instead of the tongue, and I understand that you worship the tongue more than you worship the dick. And if you are offended by my choice of using that word, you was not offended when they made jest about Watergate and Tricky Dick. Tricky Dick does not exist anymore. And just as child support will be put to the wayside because it is another form of slavery, whether you provided sperm for her for that child, whether you were foolish enough to trust, it is not a sin to trust. It is a sin to believe in those who are not worthy of the title woman. No real woman would really expect or believe in her heart that she has a right to kill and a right to get paid, all in the same breath as she spreads her legs like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The only thing is, it comes on white bread, but it's done only to wheat bread. We must have a conversation. And when I say we, and I don't have a French rat in my pocket, I speak of the black man, the one who is constantly abused, the one who is forced to pay for children and go through multiple years of trying to remove this heinous indentured servitude off his back. Now, I am going to play devil advocate and say At no time did the piss-colored heifer whose mouth she used to graze on salad would have this conversation. But she will tell you in her loss and in her drunken position, because I seen her, and she looked drunk. She looked like she on some narcotic. She looked like she didn't rob them for the church's money. Oh, yes, she did. She did that. She took all their money, and now she don't have no receipts for her bullshit. This day has come. Do you remember her speak about freeing the black man? All she did is say they don't want a woman president. This is why when you remove child support, then you will get a woman's president. But as long as you have a woman go through the process, beg the Electoral College to support her and the popular vote, I ain't forgot about the popular vote, as she begged them in her upcoming hiatus of 4 years, if the piss-colored heifer, which uses her mouth to graze upon salad, ask her the pertinent question, is it right to kill and get paid? Because most women who have taken the mark of Afro-American truly believe in their ignorant, small dinosaur mind that that man, those men, or any man will stand silent upon the changing of the guard, the revolving of a new year. When the watch captain at night service trickled down the last drippings of 2024, and you make that pledge to do better or to make change or to eliminate bad habits, consider your support of child support. Consider whether or not the child support that you pay into Mr. Charlie's coffers, which is shared about and within those who do not even belong here, those who are not U.S. citizens that do not have to pay child support, because you never ask the question about those illegal immigrants who receive Medicaid and all other benefits. How many of them have been incarcerated because they were not able to put money in Mr. Charlie's coffer? You never ask yourself how many of them are receiving the same benefits that your child is receiving through Medicaid, because they're not paying. They're not even asked to pay. And they're not even arrested for being illegally in this country. But at any time, if you are a passenger in the side seat in the car that Mr. Charlie's night rider, his law enforcement officer, asks you for your identification and runs you and see that you have not had sufficient funds to pay child support, or that your child support is so high that you cannot afford to live but only live in a tent or on a park bench or go to the local shelter to feed yourself while you get out there and, excuse the expression, shake it off, boss. And as you stand without medical and you ask your white master, your white supervisor, your white overseer, we sick master, because that master of yours has medical. That immigrant who does not even assimilate to society, which he claims he wants to be part. And that is only a claim, because people who don't pay taxes, and their taxes are not divulged to the American people, those who do not pay child support, but their children receive the same benefits as your children, and at any given time, at Mr. Charlie's leisure, that he will arrest you? The questions need to be asked upon the sands dropping in the hourglass as this year comes to the end. And as the watchman who stands at the door and welcomes in the new year, that you make a pledge to use civil disobedience in refusing to pay child support. But when you are incarcerated because you do not pay, then you claim that you are a political prisoner because they are not holding those immigrants responsible for their children who go to the same public schools as your child does, receive the same substandard Medicaid that your child does, that their fathers on the roof cutting the grass, digging the ditch, or even, God forbid, driving Mr. Charlie's bus without a driver's license. Yes, they allow them to drive buses without driver's license. They even allow them to be police officers without driver's license. But God forbid that you apply for that job without a driver's license. God forbid that you apply for any job without proper identification and citizenship and showing a citizenship by receiving of Social Security card. Because the Social Security Act of 1942 makes it possible for them to have the same benefits that your child receives without the consequences to their fathers. That's an unfortunate thing that America feels that those who will not even serve in the military service, and God forbid if they had relatives, ancestors who hang from trees and blood shed on the ground and bodies in the soil, that they have the same rights as you other than going to jail for not taking care of their children. It is hard to believe that all these illegal aliens in this country who snuck in this bitch, that's what I said. And I know that's not a proper term to call your country, which is a republic, a bitch. But only a bitch would come to the rationality that they should not pay the price that you pay, that they should not be in child support court because they have been in this country over 15 months, and the requirements that if you have not made a payment, if you have not substantially gave your contribution within 15 months, that you should be incarcerated and pulled in front of a judge. This is true. This is the law throughout the land. So today, raise your hand in a proud fist to the demise of child support in this country. It is a heinous pursuit to take your economic wealth and be used improperly, used to take care of other people's children without consequences, but you are made the focus, the whipping boy, the child that went astray, that is removed from any responsibility to their children. It was orchestrated that way. And now that we sit at the door of a new year, yes, we sit at the door, the spook behind the door, we sit at the door of a new year coming. Join me in this fight. Support me in this fight. Strengthen me with words and motivation to further the fight, to remove indentured servitude from American men, black and white. See, I'm not like American women. I'm not going to distinguish the difference in the gender. I don't believe that men can have babies. I don't believe that a gay couple, man or woman, have a right to a child. If they want a right to a child, then there's plenty of lesbians in this country. And there's plenty of homosexual men who discard their sperm at their leisure because we know that the lesbian, she wants abortion in her support of the feminist party. Yes, the feminist party, the Democratic Party. You can't go to the NAACP because the president of the NAACP is married to a woman, and she a woman. Well, I believe that they're still in office, but after they got trounced in this last election, I don't believe that those two are still in control of the NAACP. But we'll see when they have the award ceremony who's heading up the NAACP. A defunct organization. You, as a black man, take this opportunity. Send your emails, send your texts, take your sign, stand on the corner, go to your government building and walk around there peacefully, civil disobedience, and show your displeasure to the fuckery, which they do. Let them know, as you let them know at the polls, that you are not the ignorant one, that you know that they run in pimp game and you the hoe that's being abused by the bleach and the clothes hanger. Let them know that you will no longer stand silent as they use your children to oppress you and provide them the crumbs from Lazarus' table. This would be such a wonderful thing. This would be such a glorious thing. Those who were heinously killed and hanged and beat, and those children who had water holes turned upon them, would see their fathers in civil disobedience, show their displeasure to the dripping of Miss Charlie's tainted uterus, that no longer should any man have to pay more than what she is worth. Because if she was a jewel, he would still be with her. If she was worthy of attention, he would not be looking at Becky. And if she was anything like our mothers, she would not kill her children and believe in her heart and ask Jesus to get paid. These are harsh words. These are disrespectful words. But they're only disrespectful words if they were the same caliber of women that our mothers were. Good or bad, from that period of time, she did not kill her child for the crumbs of Lazarus' table. She didn't kill her child so she may be able to buy one more pack of blonde weed. These are harsh words which I share with you in the pursuit of asking you to support my efforts in Tallahassee and asking the legislators to make it a felony backed up with 3 years in prison with no forgiveness and no probation, and that their children, which they have, are returned to their fathers because she is not worthy of the title of mother. I was asked to extend this with conscious thought, conscious conversation, conscious comment. But it's little to say, and it's not much to say about the snake who rolls upon her back for the crumbs from Lazarus' table, and how proud she is of her career, which she is not equally paid for, that she is easily convinced by a piss-colored heifer who uses her mouth to graze upon salad. So, this, and in closing, yes, I am going to close this with one word: down with child support and up with hope. The hope that we can put aside this ugly, heinous mark that has been on our backs for over 40 years in this country. That we have seen men kept in indentured servitude for children that was not theirs. And when the children were found out not to be theirs, there was no punishment for her heinous behavior. But every individual, or what they're finally called on the streets, the slit tail, because only a slit tail would truly believe that she has a right to kill and be paid. This is unbelievable that in 2024, on the verge of 2025, that this goes on, that she is not dragged by that yak that she weave in her hair, that she should not be held accountable. And she hides behind children that if you throw the crumbs of Lazarus' table in front of her, that she is willing to kill them with no regards. It is not much else to be said. It is no small insult or big insult that can be slinged against the wall to persuade the feminist, slit-tailed Afro-American woman to remove herself from this process. And some may say, which they have right, that a woman and her body is hers. If so, take full responsibility for your actions and your decisions. If you're an unfit woman, do not kill that child. Carry that child to term and give it to the father, which you fight so aggressively to keep the child from, so you will receive the crumbs from Lazarus' table. This is your boy, Mr. Political, unapologetic for heinous slights, ignorant comments, negative terms of gender. There is no apology needed, because when you come from dirt, you are less than dirt. This is your boy, Mr. Political, asking for your support, asking for you to look inside yourself and make a choice today and before the Watchman speaks of the last second of 2024. Make up your mind which side of the fence that you do not want to straddle. This is your boy, Mr. Political, always gracious to those who are black and always negative to those who are Afro-American, the one who took the mark of the beast, who believes that it is the proper thing to kill your seed, to destroy your child for the crumbs from Lazarus' table. And I am out.
LANCESCURV.com. Bold, raw, and uncut.